Today is the 10th Yahrtzeit, the 29th of Shevat, of Arav Chosed Rabbi Shul Binyamin ben Rabbi Josh Gordon, Josh Gordon, the master of Chitas and Chabad.org. His father was Reb Sholem Ber Gordon, Shliach of the Frierdiker Rebbe and the Rebbe to Newark from 1942. But I want to talk about Josh Gordon, a personal story just for his neshama. And I want to tell you, Chevra, that this was such a special person. I knew him. Let me tell you the story. So it was 1981-82. I'm a student in the yeshiva in Los Angeles, and somehow I was invited by some of the people that had come to the yeshiva to learn with us. Bob Sherman, Dennis Brown, some people that maybe some of you remember. And they were part of a chabura with Josh, and Josh brought them closer to Yiddishkeit, a whole group. That's a story for itself, during the 1970s. Anyway, and they wanted to learn more, and he told them to come to yeshiva, so I befriended them. I was involved with the adult education as extracurricular activities in the yeshiva. Our main job was, of course, to learn. Anyway, so I was there for a Shabbos. I was invited to the Valley somehow, and we had a Fabrengen. Here I am, a Bocher. I'm coming from 770, coming from Morristown, I'm coming from the yeshiva, I'm coming from Rabbi Yoel Khan, I'm coming from Chassidim. You know, it's a different world, and I'm inspired, and I want to share my inspiration. And we're Fabrengen, and we're taking a little Chayim, and we're singing the Gunim, and I'm trying to get these guys, these American Baal Teshuvas, to get, to realize that Chabad it's so much, so deep and so special and so beautiful and so warm. In comes Josh, Rabbi Gordon. Now, my view of Rabbi Gordon at the time as a Bachar was that he was a modern shliach. He had frontal hair, which we call a chup. He had a full beard, but it was rolled up. He had a nice red tie. He was, he spoke English beautifully. And just his mannerisms, he wasn't on my top 10 of Hasidic shluchim. Avrem Levitansky, Shlomo Kunin, these was our idols of the 70s going into the 80s. I didn't know Josh. And he's called himself Josh Gordon. He doesn't call himself Yeshua Binyamin Gordon, at least not what was known. And he comes into the Fabrengen. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. And, I thought he would have been sleeping. No, it was Shabbos. He comes in. This is after he went home, and he went home to have the Suda, the meal with his parents, with his family. He comes in, and we're singing Essen Essig, trinken, trink sich, was soll man tun, als Davin sich nicht. We eat automatically, we sleep automatically, we gravitate to the bed and to food. We don't need any preparations, but it's automatic. When it comes to praying, when it comes to learning, it's a whole big deal. We're not going to learn, we're not going to pray. And that's the song. Chabad Chassidim of old sang this. It's a beautiful tune. It's sung today. Anyway, and we're getting into it. We're singing this to arouse that feeling of davening and learning and all that. And all of a sudden, he comes in and he joins us and he starts singing the Nigun with us as though he was the biggest chassid, which he was, from Russia, from Lubavitch. It blew me away. It changed my entire thinking and realizing that I'm thinking so narrow. I'm looking at his external, what we call in Chabad, his chitzonius, his superficiality. The way he dresses and the way he has his hair and the way he's slick and cool, He did all that to attract the people, which he did. And now, so many years later, 20,000 hits every day on Chabad.org for his learning. And I know people who are in a pool suntanning and they're learning. So you'll say, well, that's disgusting for some. Maybe, but that's the level they're at. The point is, people are learning. Or the Joshniks from Port Washington, from our Paltiel community, that the video just came out. When Yeshua Binyamin Gordon, Rabbi Gordon, sang with us, the Essen Essig Nigin, I just melted. I melted. I realized that this man is a Chassidische Beindel, That's what the word bein means a bone. Doesn't translate well in English, meaning, in other words, he's Hasidic stock. He's the real McCoy. Josh Gordon, with his name Josh, he's the real Lubavitcher, not Chaim Dalfin. And I'm not talking about Gesha and lineage and that his grandfather, Rabbi Josh Gordon, learned in Lubavitch, and the other grandfather was a chayzer by the Rebbe Rashab, Rabbi Eliyahu Simpson, who I had the chus of having by bar mitzvah in the shul here in Borough Park. I'm not talking about that. The man was Chassidischkeit, but it was expressed in a different way. And b'schus his neshama, the 10th Yahrtzeit, I open up and share for everyone this story to know, not just about him, that sometimes we see a child, a teenager, a young adult who has a modern edge to him. Don't judge him. And I as chatoya nin masker hayoim, my short-sightedness of Josh Gordon 44 years ago, I asked forgiveness from him because I was wrong, completely wrong. And the lesson that we take for our lives is not to judge a book by its cover, although I write books and I have nice covers and covers sell books, but look inside, read the teichel, read the content. May Hashem help that this story will be a gateway so that we will listen to his shiurim. And I want to say, it's not just the biggest Lubavitchers, men and women, listen to his shiurim in the cars, in their home, the women in the kitchen, the men in the kitchen, the women in the cars, the women doing Chabad work, everyone, a men and shluchim. He has a witticism to him. He was learned, and also has another point. Because of his father, Sholem Ber Gordon, who needs a conversation for himself. He was such a Talmud Chochem, a Chassidish Yid, and a Yid Shemayim, and smart. He was a chaplain in Newark, the hospitals, over 50 years, but he was a Chassidish Yid. I once wanted to bring someone to Fabrenki on Yud Shevat, to the Borough Park, to a group of people, and I asked Moshe Groner, Label Groner's youngest brother, and he said, you want a real, and I thought of someone, a Talmud of the Frierdiker Rebbe, and Moshe Groner said to me, you want a real Chassidish Yid to bring for Yud Shevat? Bring Sholem Ber Gordon. So that's what Josh comes from, Sholem Ber Gordon. He was a Balkaida, Josh, I believe. He knew Kriya well. And those basic ideas of Torah that you get from a frum home, an educated home, a Yiddish shtub. In addition to Chassidus, he had that. So let us emulate his way into his family, his son Yossi and the others, and all the children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Know what you come from, know who you are, know what to aspire to, and the Eibishter will help. That will be zeicha to give Gula B'Shleim of Mashiach Tzedekenu with the Rebbe together, Bias Mashiach Tzedekenu, the Kitzur Anu Sheikh Ne'ofer, Yeshua Ben Yamin, Ben Reb Sholem Ber Gordon on his 10th Yahrtzeit to date. Thank you.